we're reading this wonderful compilation of Native American myths and legends. Um, it's the Pantheon Fairy Tale and Folklore Library, the stories from the oral tradition of storytelling of the Native American Indians, in the United States before they were genocided. Uh, they had this practice of the elders and the wise people basically telling stories orally, right? So we're reading what has survived, uh, and I want to pay a big respect to this culture, be respectful. Uh, this is for open minded people. I don't want to hear anything racist towards Native American Indians or any disrespect. Reading this keeps their memory alive, especially because of the atrocities that the tribe suffered. Okay? So I want to get that out of the way. And let's begin. We are on page 8, and this story is titled Blood Clot, Southern Ute Tribe. So that's the story from the Southern Utes. Okay, unlike the previous tale, here the baby is born from a clot of buffalo blood and derives his power from the mighty buffalo tribe. Long ago, a very old man and his wife lived alone and hunted for game. But it was scarce, and they were hungry. One day, the man discovered some buffalo tracks and followed them to a place where the animal had stopped. There he found only a big clot of blood, which he wrapped in his shirt and carried home. Why is he doing that? It's gross. The old man told his wife to boil the blood, and she put it into the kettle with water from the creek. But before it came to a boil over the kettle with water from the creek. Oh, wait. But before it came to a boil over the... Sorry, I lost my spot. The fire, they heard cries inside the kettle. The man ran up to it and pulled out a baby, a little boy, who had somehow formed out of the blood clot. That would freak me out. The old couple washed the baby and wrapped him up. By the next morning he had grown much larger. And that day he continued to grow until he could crawl about by himself. The second day he was able to walk a little. By the third day he was walking with ease. The couple called him Blood Clot and came to treat him as their son. The old man made little arrows so that the child could learn to shoot. Soon Blood Clot needed larger arrows, and with them he began to hunt birds and other small game. He never brought the game home himself, but sent the old man for it. One day Blood Clot returned from hunting and said, "I have killed something with a striped back." The man went out and fetched an animal a little bigger than a mouse, which he cooked for the three of them. The next day the boy announced, "I have killed white short-tailed animal." Maybe that's a deer, because there's like a white-tailed deer. It was a cottontail. Oh, a rabbit, okay. Which the man also cooked. The day after that, Blood Clot went farther and killed a badger. Them buggers are mean. "I have killed an animal in a hole in the ground," he said, and the man brought the creature home and cooked it. The following day, when the boy returned, he said, "I have killed an animal with black ears and a black tail." Black ears and a black tail. Could be a black squirrel? Let's see what it is. The old man's joy, it was a female deer. Wow, a black deer, wow. The three of them ate and were happy. Next, Blood Clot said, "I have killed a big fellow with big antlers." Maybe an elk? It was an elk. Ah, yes! So again, the family feasted on meat. This kid's a good hunter. The old man gave the boy a full-sized bow and arrows, and Blood Clot went into the mountains and shot a mountain goat. "I have killed an animal with big horns in the mountains," he said when he came down. Every day, the old man said proudly, he kills a different kind of animal. Now their troubles were over, and they had an easy time. Blood Clot killed a mountain lion. That must have been hard. Them buggers don't play. Then he tracked and shot an otter. Oh, "I have killed an animal with nice fur. Living in the water, the old man tanned the skin to make strings for the tying of the boy's braids." The following day, Blood Clot found a beaver. "I have killed a water animal with a tail of this size." At last there came a day when Blood Clot said, "I want to visit the village where many people live. Before that, I will go on my last hunt for you. All day and all night. First, I want you to tie up the tent, put rocks on the edge, and fasten the door, lest the night wind carry it away." Oh yeah, because if you have like it gets in and it would like kind of like when the wind when it's rainy and your umbrella gets turned inside out because it pushes it out. Wow. Though the wind will be strong, don't go outdoors and don't be afraid. I will call when you can come out. The old couple obeyed, and he hunted all night while they were sleeping. About daybreak they heard a big noise, forerunner of a wind that threatened to tip the tent. The man was frightened and wanted to go out, but the wife held him back, reminding him of what their son had said. When daylight came, they heard their son's voice. Come on out. I'll show you something. They fastened the door and saw dead buffalo lying all around. I have done this for you, Bloodclot said. Dry the meat and hides. Save the meat, and it will last you for a long time. Oh, make jerky, right? The young man asked his mother to fix him a lunch, and she gave him pemmican. Now my parents have plenty of food, he said. As he left, they cried and asked him to return. Wearing buckskin leggings, carrying a quiver of mountain lion skin, Bloodclot began to travel. After a few days, he reached the village. At the outskirts, he asked for the chief's house, and a man told him, it is in the center. Ah, the chief's at the capital, in the center. There he found the chief with his wife and daughter. They invited him to sit down, and the chief asked him where he came from and what his tribe was. I don't know what tribe I belong to. I have come to visit you, Bloodclot replied. The chief stepped outdoors and shouted to the people to come and meet their visitor. The villagers were starving for lack of game, but all gathered at the chief's house and sat down. The chief said, Do any of you know the tribe of this young man? People named the tribes, deer, elk, otters, beavers, and others. They asked him whether he belonged to any of these, but he thought not. At last, one old man said, I think I know from the power in him. Although I may be mistaken, I think he is of one of the buffalo. Bloodclot thought about it and finally agreed. The people of the village asked Bloodclot to stay and marry the chief's daughter. He agreed to do this as well, and the wedding was held. That evening he asked his father-in-law to bring one arrow from the teepee. When the chief returned, Bloodclot told him to have all the teepees fastened and to warn the people that they should stay indoors, for there would be a great storm. The chief told the villagers at daybreak when they heard a big noise. They cried out in fear but did not leave their teepees. Then Bloodclot called to the chief, who came out to find dead buffalo everywhere, before every lodge. At his son-in-law's bidding, he summoned the whole village for a feast, and all were happy. Bloodclot stayed there until one day when a group of villagers went out to hunt buffalo. Long before this, he had told his wife, You know the buffalo calf? I am part of that. It is part of me, so you must never say the word calf. When the party killed some buffalo and were butchering, another herd came running past. His wife pointed and called, Kill that calf! Immediately, Bloodclot jumped on his horse and galloped away, changing as he did so into a buffalo. His wife cried and attempted to catch him, but in vain. From that time on, Bloodclot ran with the buffalo. Based on a story reported by Robert Lowy in the 1920s. Oh, that is so cool! Whoa! That is a freaking cool story! Wow, he like gives a think about it, like when he says goodbye to his family, he makes sure they have food. I remember when I went to visit my family, I would take them to the grocery store, my grandma and grandpa, and I would fill up their fridge to be like, hey, you don't got to spend money on me visiting you. I'm going to buy you food, right? But that's so cool that Bloodclot, was an excellent hunter, and he was like this little magical baby. Oh, that's so crazy. Like a Bloodclot, and he's like, boil it, and it's like a baby's in the pot. Oh my gosh. And the wife is like, he tells her, don't say this word. And she does. And then, lo and behold, he transforms into a buffalo and rides away. And she's like, come back. Oh, that is such a cool story.